My name is Edwin, and I am a nurse. Also, I'm a naturopathic doctor. Pain is a general problem. In fact, the reason most people go to the hospital or seek any medical attention basically is because of pain. They're uncomfortable. It makes them uncomfortable. They don't really care about what happened like that until the pain comes, But before you see a pain, there's something underlying that is going on. One of those things that is most popular is actually arthritis, especially for people above the age of 40. Talk to anybody above the age of 40, he's nursing one pain somewhere or the other. You understand? So it's a general thing. Now, when it comes to arthritis, and I'm going to use the arthritis example here for pain. Arthritis, there are 4 types of arthritis basically. There is osteoarthritis, there is rheumatoid arthritis, there is psoriatic arthritis, and then there is the fourth one. There's gouty arthritis. Yes, that's the fourth one, gout. Now, each of these disease conditions have one thing in common: inflammation. Inflammation is a response of the immune system to an invader, but either in or outside the body. So if there's something wrong, inflammation happens. Now, when you fall down and get a bruise or something, you notice that for especially people who are fair-skinned, you see the place will be red, that area will be red, and it will be shiny, swollen, and then warmer than the rest of the other. That is the form in which the immune response, the inflammatory response comes. So it's a response of the immune system. So it's a natural thing. Now, there's also systemic inflammation where it doesn't switch off. That inflammation is good, it helps protect you and all that, but when it doesn't switch off, that is where the problem is. And arthritis is one of those conditions where it refuses to switch off. So now let's use the example of osteoarthritis, which is the most popular. In osteoarthritis, this is what is going on. In the weight-bearing joints, the knees and the hips, what carries most of our weight from gravity, there's this pressing down of like the femur and the other bones. So there's this pressing down at the joints, and the cartilage now begins to wear off. As it wears off, the nerve endings begin to grate on each other, and that's what causes the pain. Then there's muscle stiffness. So anybody suffering from osteoarthritis, they find it a bit difficult to get up. They have to stretch their leg in a certain way before they can, the mobility issue is there. Now, with that happening, that introduces, because that grating, that introduces inflammation. So the real driver of the pain that is involved, that you are feeling, is actually the inflammation. And that involves some certain chemicals called prostaglandins. And that's why when you take your Panadol or take some certain painkillers, chemical painkillers, it goes to block those chemicals from being secreted, and so you don't feel the pain again. But the problem is still there. And so osteoarthritis by nature is a degenerative bone or joint disorder. Now, I forgot about the rheumatoid arthritis. For rheumatoid arthritis, what is going on is that the immune system is now attacking the joints, and usually it's not so much of the weight-bearing joints, but rather like the phalanges and those kinds of. When I say phalanges, I mean the fingers and some other deformity happening at the advanced stage. So it is now the immune system attacking. That's one. Inflammation is involved too. When it comes to the other two types, which is psoriatic, it has to do. Psoriasis is a skin disorder that, funny enough, it's also the immune system that is attacking the skin, and it finds its way into the joints. So people with psoriatic arthritis suffer joint pain too. Then, and right there, there's inflammation of the skin that finds its way into the joints. Inflammation again. And therefore, anywhere inflammation is, pain follows. Then the last one, this is gouty arthritis. Gouty arthritis, or gout for short. What happens is that uric acid is a lot in the body. So there's a lot of uric acid, and these uric acid crystals find their way into the joints and form these spikes. And as you move your fingers, you get this sharp pain. I'm sorry, but people who take alcohol a lot are prone to it. People who take a lot of proteinous things, you eat too much protein, beans, red meat, you tend to have it. But the people who take alcohol are the most predisposed to it. That's another reason to reduce your alcohol intake, or just do away with it. Then I think that's that. Now again, inflammation is involved. So anywhere you have redness, you have pain, you have phlogosis, that's tenderness and that kind of a thing. You have inflammation, and the immune system is involved. Now, how does PEMF, which is contained, or which is the technology inside the Therapy 90 and Therapy 90 Plus, how does it work there? It's now through those gentle electromagnetic signals, it somehow deals with the pain, and it reduces pain sensitivity. And you find that, okay, you are not feeling that pain as much. Now, it's not like the pain will not be there, but this is what now happens because PEMF works. It works on the back of cell signaling. Pain happens to cell signaling, immune signaling. So you find that that pathway in which pain is now, the pain cascade now begins to happen. It blunts it. And when you also take a pain reliever, it now works better with it. Also, this is very, very good news for people who have arthritis, especially osteoarthritis. The main problem is the degeneration of the chondrocyte, what we call chondrocytes. That's the cells that produce the lining that gets shaved off from the wear and tear, the degenerative wear and tear. So it reactivates those cells, and you see they begin to produce the material that protects the bone. So it's now going to the root of the problem and slowing it down, if not reversing it. And this is why we're so excited about it, about the P90 and P90 Plus. So there's two major equipment that we're selling, machines that we're selling, or that we're promoting here, is the P90 Plus and the P90. So it's in the form of a scale where you place on the floor, you sit and you place your feet on it, and these gentle electromagnetic waves go through your body and then reach all your cells at the cellular level. I forgot to add all this while that it actually works at the cellular level. I'm sure people who have some health education, they would have figured by now that it actually works at the cell level. For osteoarthritis especially, there are studies. Now, as a responsible, I keep repeating that, as a responsible medical person, a healthcare person, when something is brought to us, we go for the studies. Have there been clinical trials and studies on it? In fact, on a website called PubMed, that's Public Medicine, PubMed Central, you will see up to 4,000 scientific articles on various things that PEMF does, that's pulse electromagnetic field. And just listen carefully and get the number down. Somebody's waiting at the other end to take your inquiries.